So today I want to talk about something that every content creator, every YouTuber, and every Twitch streamer goes through at some point. Staying consistent without burning out. People act like consistency is just grinding harder or pushing through it, when really that's not the entire picture. I've had moments where I streamed every day and had posts going out at least twice, 3 times, 4 times a week, and I felt amazing. I've also had those weeks and days where I did that and felt empty and like drained, you know what I mean? And I just kind of kept pushing through, and until I had to take a break. So today I want to break down what consistency actually looks like, how burnout actually shows up, and what's helped me stay steady without draining myself. Let's start with something simple. Consistency isn't doing everything everywhere all at once. Movie reference. It's more about doing the same thing again, and again. It's really more about rhythm, not speed. Burnout happens when you try and sprint something that should be a marathon. And in content creation, this whole thing is a marathon. Whether you've made it, whether you're still, in the trenches like with me, you know what I'm saying? We're still grinding. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. There was a time when I went super hard. Like, I went hard, bro. It was back when I was playing Dead by Daylight. I was uploading like 2 videos a day. I was uploading shorts. I was streaming every day for about 4 to 6 hours, and that went on for about 2 months, I think. And yeah, that I burnt myself the hell out on Dead by Daylight, and it was just, and I just stopped editing. I stopped doing so much because I just didn't feel like creating. I didn't feel like doing what I loved, and this is what I love. I love talking to people. I love recording. I love editing. I love streaming. I love doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't rewarding me. You know what I mean? It was just a grind, and it didn't feel like it was rewarding me to the point where I should be uploading 2 and 3 times a day, to the point where I should be grinding out as many videos as I was. Burnout doesn't hit you all at once. It sneaks up on you. It'll hit you with a little, I'll do that later. And then later turns into tomorrow, and then tomorrow turns into next week. And then after a while, it just turns out that you haven't been doing what you were supposed to be doing. And then before you know it, you drop the hobby. Not because you're lazy, but because it was tough to be consistent. Because burnout snuck up on you. Because you made it heavier than it needs to be. Just like me. I did the same shit. It was Dead by Daylight. I didn't need to make 4 videos a day. I did upload. I uploaded 4 videos a day. And I think one of them took off and the other 3 didn't. And it was just... besides the point. So that leads into my first real point that I want to make. Sorry, my beard dragon doing something over here. What you doing, man? So that leads into my first real point that I wanted to make. Consistency comes from making your process light. And when I say light, I mean manageable. Not perfection, not maximum hustle, not 10, 12 hour, 14, 16 hour days. You know what I mean? I'm talking about making your process to the point where you can do it every day. Maybe it's just editing a video like a little bit at a time so you can have one upload by Friday. A short here and a short there, so you upload twice a week. Most creators aren't struggling with discipline, okay? They're struggling with because their system is too heavy. One of the first things that helped me was lowering the weight of my workflow. I told myself, instead of making the perfect video every single time, instead of making the perfect short, instead of making the perfect edit every time, I'm gonna go ahead and just make an honest video that I can just say, yeah, I uploaded that one took me an hour or 2 to edit, and that made everything easier. I can create faster, I can create more often, and I can create without the stress of perfection. The second thing that helped me was setting boundaries. Hello? Dude, the second thing that helped me was setting boundaries, okay? Now, this could sound boring, this could sound lame, but it helps, okay? Please, I'm working here. I've done those long streams, and my logic was more is better, okay? More is better. That's not necessarily always true. That was the fast track to burnout, okay? What helped me out was time blocking, actually. And this is one of those, productivity hacks and shit that you hear everywhere. It actually helped out. So I would set time for editing, I'd set time for streaming, and this has helped me out now. I will say, okay, I'm gonna stream for 2 hours, 3 hours, or I'm gonna edit for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then I will, knock out what I gotta knock out in that time, and it really helps. Your work will fill out the time that you set aside for it. If you don't set aside time for it, it's gonna take up that much time. It's gonna take all day. It's gonna take all week. If you set aside an hour, it'll take you an hour. I'm done on this subject, but it's true. And then that leads into my third topic. Consistency comes from routines, not motivation. Motivation is right here. Motivation feels amazing. It's like, dude, I can do whatever. I can do everything. I can knock out this video, that video. I can knock out a stream, everything in the next 4 hours. Cool, epic. Routine doesn't care what mood you're in. Motivation does. Routine is quiet. Routine is just something like as simple as waking up in the morning and making your bed, or waking up in the morning and brushing your teeth. If you do want to produce consistently, you need a repeatable routine, not all the motivation in the world. And when I say routine, I don't mean a full out like slammed schedule with just like with everything done in one day, and then you're just doing everything, scripting, editing, video, recording, all that bullshit in one day. I'm talking about Mondays are scripting, Tuesdays are for recording, Thursdays are for editing, and then Fridays are for uploading. Pretty simple, right? Or if you're streaming, or you should be doing both if you're a small content creator like me, you should stream like Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. That's just an idea. I'm not saying that's gonna blow you up if you stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. If it does, come back here and thumbs up the video, because that's all I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little shout out or something. I don't know, man. If you try and rely on motivation and choosing what to do, whether or not you're gonna do it in the moment, your brain is gonna choose comfort every time. Your brain is gonna be like, all right, let me just watch another episode. All right, let me just watch another YouTube video. And the fourth big lesson that I've learned is that consistency requires rest as much as it does work. Burnout isn't caused by creating, okay? Burnout is caused by creating without recovery. I used to feel bad about, taking a day, or, taking a week, okay, maybe not a week, but still. I used to feel bad about taking breaks, I used to feel bad about, taking a day off or something like that. And, I always felt like I was wasting time. I always felt like I was letting my audience down. But then I realized resting is just part of the process. Some of my best ideas came from the days where I wasn't creating, where I wasn't streaming. Resting basically resets your creativity. Okay, if you're just creating, you're never gonna really get anywhere, because you're just gonna burn out, and then that burnout is gonna show in your videos, and the burnout, you're gonna show that you're rushed, or it's just not gonna be as authentic and as full as I know you want it to be. A good way to look at this is think of yourself like a battery. Okay, you can't just run your phone until it's dead and then keep using it. You gotta charge your battery. Okay, you gotta charge your phone, you gotta charge your whatever the fuck. Rest is fuel. Now here's another thing that helped me with burnout, which was controlling the size of my goals. Most creators burn out because they made their goals too big. They want to stream 8 hours a night. They want to make 4 videos, 5, 6, 7 videos a week. And they want to make great content from the start. They'll go out and buy the best mic, the best camera, the best computer, and then they won't hit 10 million subs and 50 million followers on Twitch, and then they just quit. That was what I did. My biggest mistake was thinking I was gonna hit 100,000 subscribers in my first year of content creation. And that is definitely possible, but it's not probable for a lot of us. A lot of us have jobs. A lot of us have families. A lot of us have pets. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us have responsibilities. Small goals are harder to fail. They're also easier to build on. Once I switched to small goals, everything changed. I went from I'm gonna stream every single night for 6 hours to I'm gonna stream probably about 3 to 4 nights a week for about 2 to 4 hours. I went from I'm gonna make this the perfect video to I'm gonna finish this video and I'm gonna have it uploaded, and I'll probably upload 2 to 3 times a week. And finishing builds confidence. And here is another thing that helped me out a lot is batching, okay? Batching, that doesn't sound like a real word. That sounds like dachi, but I'm sorry. Another dachi reference, I'm sorry. But batching is basically when you record 3 videos at a time instead of 1. That way I didn't have to come up with ideas on the spot. That way I can edit videos throughout the week as I go. And it just helps out a lot, honestly. Now let's talk about expectations. Expectations can also lead to burnout if your expectations are too high, okay? So if you're expecting your first 10 videos, if you're expecting your first 20 videos to just go viral, and you're immediately in the partner program, you're immediately, in the YouTube affiliate program. If that does happen, congratulations. You are the 1%. However, for the rest of us, if you are expecting those numbers off the rip, you are setting yourself up for a major disappointment. And the truth is, nobody gets traction in the beginning. Beginning is for building skills, like editing, like talking to a camera, like talking to an empty chat, so you're ready when you have comments, when you have people in your chat. When you expect the slow part, it's way less scary. And when you expect instant results, it feels like failure. So here's a mindset that helped me out. Focus on skill, not results, okay? Focus on getting better at editing. Focus on getting better at talking to nobody in chat. These are the things that really matter long term. So here are a few signs of burnout that I've seen in myself and other creators, like dreading to open your editing software, like being tired consistently for no reason, losing interest in your videos and in things that you used to find passion in. And if you're experiencing these things, you're not lazy, you're not weak. It just means you need to rest. And like we said earlier, rest is part of the process. Good rest also functions as a reset so that you can turn around and, you know what I'm saying, pop the fuck off. You feel me? One of the best things that I did to help me with my burnout was separating my life from my content. See, when you tie your identity to your content, burnout hits way harder. And I felt this firsthand. Let me know in the comments if you felt that one firsthand, okay? You need hobbies that aren't just content, that aren't just editing, uploading, and rinsing and repeating. You need hobbies, okay? Play a game that isn't the game you play on stream. You need time and moments where you can be and you are just a person. Let me tell you another story about me taking that 2 months off. I think I took 2 months off. I was so burnt out, bro. But when I did take that time off, I came back, and I even within the first like week or so of taking that time off, I felt the creativity come back. I felt ideas starting to form in my head again. I just felt better about content creation. That time off did more for my consistency than grinding and hustling and doing everything that the gurus and everybody be telling you, you know, just keep your nose to the grindstone and everything will work out. Yeah, no, that shit don't work, buddy boy. The last thing I want to talk about is how to build consistency that lasts. These are the 5 things that I recommend. 1, make your workflow light. This leads to less steps, less complications, and less perfection. 2, set a routine. Pick your days and work with them. 3, protect your energy, okay? Rest is not optional. It is part of the process. 4, set small goals. Small goals create momentum. Big goals create pressure. And 5, track progress that you can control. Okay, track skills, not just stats. Stats are delayed, skills are immediate. And if you do these 5 things consistently, burnout becomes rare. This isn't about being productive every second and being locked in every second. This is more about making sure you're still here in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years. Because a lot of creators quit, not because they're bad at creating, but because they get burnt out before they get to the fun part. Let's wrap this up, man. Consistency without burnout is not about pushing harder. It's not about grinding harder. It's not about, you know, staying up late. It's not about late nights and early mornings. It's about designing your creative life in a way that suits you. It's about showing up without destroying yourself. It's about playing the long game, okay? And if you're struggling with consistency right now, you're not alone, trust me. Just try and make your workflow a little lighter. Try and make it routine. Try resting on purpose. And remember, slow progress is still progress. The people who win long-term are the people who find a pace and a stride that they can actually keep instead of trying to sprint it out. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's been your boy, Infamous D-Bub, and I will see you guys later. Also, hit me up on Twitch, man. Twitch.tv/InfamousDbub. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Peace.